Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Buchanan, and tonight I'll be talking about Chapter 12 and the Leadership and Communication Perspective. And in this chapter, I'll be discussing being a leader and developing as a leader, along with seeking out mentorship and seeking out leadership opportunities, and also getting a self-perception of what it means to be a leader and what you have to do in the place to accomplish that. So, let me get out there. Dog is in the bathroom. So we'll get into the first part of this, and basically it goes into what develops in leader development. And so this is kind of an overview of what is to come of leading oneself. So self-awareness, understanding personal strengths and weaknesses, and how those strengths and weaknesses impact others, understanding cultural assumptions and biases. So as a leader, you have to be responsible for yourself. You can't really be a leader if you are always blaming and you're not really self-aware of what your strengths and weaknesses are. For me, I take that as taking responsibility of what I'm really good at and what I'm not and what I need to focus on. And of course, of this class, that's the main theme, is focusing more on our strengths and getting to where we need to get by with our weaknesses. And so that kind of goes into self-awareness. Ability to balance conflicting demands. So that goes anything from your superiors, your subordinates, work, home, relationships, being able to balance all that. And I guess, being a leader, you have to learn how to do that or you're going to crash and burn. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about, especially in delegating employees. If you can't delegate, you're going to run yourself dry. And I kind of experienced that personally with my business before I had my employees. I was trying to do everything at once. I was trying to do everything myself, and I got to a point where I couldn't because I was growing, and so I was forced to delegate. And what's beautiful about owning a business and going through that process is that it's kind of a sink or swim. If you can't do it, you're going to die, right? You're going to die. You're not going to put foot on the table, and you're not going to go anywhere. But you have to find a solution. If you refuse to give up or you refuse to let yourself beat you in that sense, you have to be able to adapt. You have to change. You have to learn how to do things without someone showing you how to do it. Steps 1 through 5. There is no way to do that. You're going to have to build your wing. Basically jump off a cliff and build your wings on the way down and hope it flies. That's the beauty of it. So that's like the ability to balance. And of course, again, I know it's wrapping back around. That's how I've been able to adapt, and that's how I've been able to swim rather than sink. Ability to learn. Just because you're a leader, you don't know everything. Just because you have been in a leadership position, or you've done this and you've done that, and you're credible for this and that, it doesn't mean that you're, the end-all be-all. My old man, my dad said this is, if you're green, you grow. If you're ripe, you rot. So if you are green, you will grow. If you are ripe, you will rot. And basically he said, don't ever peak. Don't ever peak. Always be willing to learn. Always be willing to be a student. Always be willing to challenge yourself, to push your intellect even further. Because if you don't, you will die. Just like anything in life. Movement is life. Stagnation is death. You are not a genius. You are a genius. But you're not a genius if you don't learn. Even Albert Einstein learned more. Duh. Next thing to go to is leadership values. Honesty and integrity. Warren Buffett has this quote of, if you're not honest, you don't have integrity, you don't have personality. Or it's like, no, if you don't have personality, you don't have honesty, and you don't have integrity. You need integrity first and foremost. And if you don't have integrity but you have personality and you're kind of honest or whatever, then you can forget about it because you don't have integrity. You have to be You have to have integrity to be a leader. You have to be truthful. You have to be brutally honest no matter what. You have to do what is right. Doing what is right will always get you further, and you will always succeed. If you do not do what is right, you are kaput. With that being said, leading others, ability to build and maintain relationships, right? You have to be able to communicate with people and inspire them and have them work under you. Ability to build effective work groups, be able to be an effective leader in a group, get the job done, have everybody be involved and feel motivated. Ability to develop others, so bring them along and put their strengths in the light and help them grow up and out of the position. Of course, leading an organization, you have the management skills, ability to think and act strategically, ability to think creatively, and ability to initiate and implement change. With those things, those are things that you kind of learn as you go along. School can't teach you that. You have to really just get out there and do it. You have to be willing to mess up. You can't be afraid to make mistakes because you're gonna make mistakes. And if you're afraid of making mistakes and you don't want to make mistakes, you're gonna make more mistakes than out of anybody. But it could be a negative, it could be a positive because you could learn from those mistakes. And if you don't, well, you're out the door. You're done. So that just talks about developing as a leader. I wanted to focus more on leader development, and then the rest of the chapter kind of goes into, finding a mentor, finding other ways to develop as a leader and develop relationships when you are a leader with mentors or whoever you're working over. But I really wanted to develop the self-development of a leader because it takes a lot of internal drive and commitment to be able to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I hope you all have a great evening and stay warm. It's cold.